Welcome to this space of faith and reflection. May the peace and wisdom of Christ illuminate your path today and always. We deeply appreciate you joining us on this spiritual journey, where we will explore topics that challenge the heart and thought. If you have not already done so, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with inspiring content and messages that seek to strengthen our connection with the divine. Stay tuned until the end as we analyze the prophecies of Father Michel Rodrigue and their impact on humanity. Father Michel Rodrigue is a polarizing figure, a man whose words have captivated and confronted people from all corners of the world. Revered by some as a divine messenger and rejected by others as a fraud, Rodrigue remains a voice impossible to ignore. Among his most chilling forecasts is a warning about an imminent danger that threatened the life of former President Donald Trump. Rodrigue fervently urged prayer, warning that dark forces conspired against him. This prediction came to life in November, when an assassination attempt shook the nation. Trump miraculously survived, further cementing the trust of those who see in Rodrigue a direct connection to the divine. However, this was not the first time that Rodrigue's words resonated with eerie precision. In 2019, he clearly predicted a global pandemic, years before the world experienced chaos. His visions have provoked mixed reactions, hailed by some as an instrument of God and criticized by others as a simple opportunist. Unfulfilled prophecies have been pointed out by his detractors, but to his followers, each word represents an urgent call to spiritual action. At the core of his message is the transformative power of prayer. Rodrigue teaches that prayer is not an empty ritual, but a force capable of altering destiny. For him to pray is to intervene directly in reality, align oneself with the will of God, and shape the course of history. He firmly believes that through prayer wars can be avoided, disaster stopped, and lives saved. This message resonates deeply with those who find comfort and purpose in faith. Rodrigue also emphasizes the importance of unity and collective prayer. He urges his followers to intercede not only for themselves, but also for leaders, nations, and global justice. His vision is clear. Only through communal prayer can humanity face its greatest challenges. Amid political crises, natural disasters, and global upheaval, he sees prayer as an essential tool to build a better future. Although his prophecies have generated intense debate, one truth remains. His teachings invite us to reflect on the role of faith and prayer in our lives. In a world full of uncertainty, his call to live according to God's will offers hope and direction. Whether one considers him a true prophet or not, his messages on spiritual preparation and community resonate in millions of hearts. As we meditate on these prophecies, let us remember to strengthen our connection with God. Let us embrace prayer as a powerful tool and seek divine protection for our families, leaders, and communities. It is in times of uncertainty, when faith becomes a beacon of light and an engine of change. Thank you for joining us in this reflection. What do you think about Father Rodrigue's teachings and the role of prayer in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more inspiring content. May God bless you abundantly and guide your steps on this journey of faith. Father Michel Rodrigue, a tireless defender of prayer. Father Michel Rodrigue, a figure who generates admiration and controversy, has dedicated his life to an urgent calling, combating the forces of evil through prayer. Despite external criticism and pressure, Rodrigue maintains an unwavering conviction in the power of prayer to transform lives and destinies. His messages, charged with urgency and faith, reflect his belief that collective prayer can change the course of history. The division between his supporters and critics deepened after the assassination attempt against Trump. While his supporters see this as confirmation of his divine vision, Skeptics attribute it to coincidence or even emotional manipulation. However, Rodrigue remains steadfast in his mission, focusing on promoting prayer as a response to spiritual and material challenges. An expanding influence. Despite the controversy, Rodrigue's influence continues to grow. His words offer hope and spiritual direction to people of all ages and backgrounds. Today, he is seen not only as a prophet, but also as a spiritual guide who brings peace in the midst of the storm. Its emphasis on devotional practices, such as the Rosary and the Eucharist, underscores the importance of grace in spiritual vigilance. An extraordinary testimony, the case of the lost son, one of the most shocking stories linked to Rodrigue's ministry, involves a desperate mother whose son disappeared without a trace. Moved by her anguish, Rodrigue assured her that her son was alive and told her where to find him. Following his words and praying fervently, the woman recovered her son exactly where the priest had predicted. This testimony further solidified his reputation as a divine instrument, attracting those seeking healing and direction in their lives. Facing criticism and skepticism head-on, despite the growing recognition surrounding Father Rodrigue, skepticism remained a constant shadow over his ministry. Detractors went out of their way to discredit him, calling him a charlatan or an impostor. On one occasion, a group of skeptics attended one of his masses with the explicit intention of exposing him as a fraud. However, Rodrigue, with a serene calm that seemed unbreakable, welcomed them with open arms, cordially inviting them to participate in the service. Halfway through the ceremony, he made a bold prophecy. He declared that fervent, collective prayer could avert an impending natural disaster. While the skeptics remained indifferent, the devotees saw in his words further confirmation of their divine connection, further strengthening their faith. Fate intervened shortly after, when a devastating hurricane, projected to devastate the region, mysteriously changed course, averting catastrophe entirely. For Rodrigue's followers, this event was irrefutable proof that his warnings, backed by collective prayer, had altered the very forces of nature. This unexpected turn not only validated his prophetic gifts, but also reaffirmed his urgent call to continued prayer, especially in the midst of both spiritual and natural adversities. Although Father Rodrigue inspired thousands, his life was marked by controversy. His prophecies, often urgent and premonitory, generated heated debates about the place of divine prophecy in modern society. To some, he was a genuine messenger from God, whose warnings demanded immediate attention and action. For others, he was an opportunist who played on fear and uncertainty for personal gain. However, Rodrigue's unwavering faith and relentless dedication to prayer, even in the face of fierce criticism, made him a beacon of hope to those who believed in him. His message never wavered. We live in an era rife with spiritual and physical challenges, and united prayer has the power to offer protection and avert disasters, both individual and global. A call to action: unite in prayer as the world faces growing uncertainty marked by political instability, natural calamities, and social tensions. Father Rodrigue's teachings offer a clear path: prayer. He insisted that prayer is not a passive act of devotion, but an active force capable of shaping the future. When believers pray together, they wield transformative power that can influence events, change lives, and alter the course of history. Rodrigue urged his followers to remain vigilant, pray for their leaders, and seek divine intervention in times of crisis. This call to prayer transcends mere spiritual practice. It is a call to action. The forces of darkness are powerful, and the world seems increasingly grim. But through faith, prayer, and the guidance of figures like Father Rodrigue, believers can find hope, peace, and protection. Prayer has the power to transform not only individuals, but entire nations. By responding to Rodrigue's call to join in prayer, we can face the challenges of the future with confidence and hope, knowing that God's grace and will are always present. Conclusion: embrace prayer and stay alert. In the midst of growing crises, both natural and spiritual, Father Rodrigue's message remains urgent and clear. Let us unite in prayer, remain in a state of grace, and hold fast to our faith. Through prayer, we can overcome the encroaching darkness that threatens to consume us. Whether through prophetic visions, miraculous interventions, or the quiet force of constant prayer, we are reminded that our faith holds the power to change the world. The enduring legacy of Father Michel Rodrigue. The life and prophecies of Father Michel Rodrigue left an indelible mark on countless people, arousing both admiration and skepticism. As his influence grew, so did the threats against him. Sabotage attempts, threatening letters, and even risks to his life attempted to silence him. But Rodrigue remained steadfast, driven by an unwavering sense of divine purpose. His trust in God's protection and his conviction that he was fulfilling a sacred mission fueled his courage to share his prophetic messages even in the face of danger. One fateful night, while praying in solitude, Rodrigue had a vision of a dark and malevolent force approaching him. In that moment of fear, a calming voice encouraged him to continue his work. This experience deepened his faith in divine protection and reaffirmed the profound meaning of his calling. The strength he drew from these visions became the foundation of his ministry, giving him the power to persevere. Despite growing opposition, Rodrigue's legacy lived on long after his passing. His tomb became a pilgrimage site for those seeking miracles, divine intervention, and tangible signs of God's presence. Among the most notable stories is the healing of Luca, a young man who suffered from a terminal illness. Desperate for a miracle, his parents took him to Rodrigue's grave and prayed fervently. Days later, Luca began to improve, making a full recovery. This miracle further strengthened the faith of Rodrigue's followers and served as a powerful confirmation of their divine connection. Despite the controversies surrounding his life and his prophecies, Rodrigue's impact continues to resonate. His teachings on prayer, faith, and divine intervention have inspired generations. His message, which emphasizes faith as an active force capable of transforming lives and circumstances, continues to be a guiding light for those seeking spiritual direction. Rodrigue's unwavering commitment to sharing his visions, even at great personal cost, exemplifies the power of strong faith. His prophecies were not mere predictions of the future, but urgent calls to action, urging people to pray, unite, and trust in God's providence. Today, followers continue to gather at his grave, sharing stories of healing, spiritual renewal, and miraculous events, ensuring that his legacy lives on. In the face of adversity and doubt, Father Rodrigue's life is a testimony to the transformative power of faith. His ability to inspire hope and instill a deep sense of purpose in his followers reflects the enduring strength of belief in the supernatural. Marked by prophetic visions and miraculous results, his love demonstrates how a person's unwavering trust in God can leave an eternal impact on the world. As his voice continues to resonate in the hearts of his followers, Father Rodrigue's message of prayer, faith, and divine protection remains a beacon of hope for those going through life's darkest moments. His story reminds us that through prayer and faith, we can overcome even the most insurmountable obstacles and experience the grace and guidance of a loving God. Thank you for taking the time to read this story. What do you think about the topic? Share your reflections in the comments and share this message with others who may find inspiration in it.